For now, I want you to think of Onshape as a Google Docs or Google Sheets. With that in mind, let's now create a new document. And to do that in Onshape, let's head over to Create and select Document. Let's name this as Rotator-Assembly and selecting Create Public Document. By default, an Onshape document contains an empty Parts Studio tab and an empty Assembly tab. And notice, on our reference drawing, all components or parts are attached to plate. This means plate is our parent part. And when recreating 2D drawings into 3D, it is highly recommended that we start modeling the parent part. And for this scenario, it is the plate. So let's get organized. I'm going to head down to our Parts Studio tab, right-click on this, and select Rename. Let's rename this to Plate, hitting Enter. In addition, I prefer whenever we head to Isometric View, I want our assembly to be the same with our 2D drawing. Let's now begin sketching. Let's head over to our feature toolbar and selecting Sketch. So notice the shortcut key for that is also Shift S. Now we are asked what plane do we want to sketch on. Let's select our front plane. A good habit to develop is always place our origin in the center or middle of our sketch geometry. Let's now head over to our sketch toolbar, and under this drop down, let's select center point rectangle. Let's sketch on our front plane. In addition, I prefer having the view normal to our sight or vision. To do that, it's simply hitting N on our keyboard. Let's drop our first point on our origin. Left click here. Move out. The dimension of this rectangle is 40 by 120. So let me move somewhere around here. Left click. Notice the dimension below is currently highlighted in a black bordered rectangle, which means this is currently active. I'm going to key in 120. Hit Enter. Dimension on the left now active. Let's key in 40. Hitting Enter. Next, let's create the two circles here. Let's head up. Under this drop down, selecting center point circle. Let's drop the center point somewhere around here. And notice, as I hover over this place, we have an inferred vertical constraint. To disable this suggestion, it's simply holding Shift. I'm going to release and commit to this inferred constraint. Left click here and left click. Dimension field active. Let's key in 10 for the diameter of this circle. Hitting Enter. Create another circle here. Left click and left click once more. Hitting Escape. And I prefer adding constraints to have these two circles equal. I'm going to head up to our constraints. Selecting equal. Selecting this circle and this circle. In addition, make it a habit to always check or show your constraints. And to do that, it's simply heading up and enabling Show Constraints. So notice here, as I hover over to our equal constraint, the two circles turns into orange, which means they are both sharing equal constraint. Let me head back and turn off the visibility of our constraints. Next, I'm going to dimension the distance between these two center points. Let's head up to our sketch toolbar, selecting dimension, selecting this center point and this center point, move down, and left click here to place our dimension and key in AT. Hitting enter and hitting escape. So notice we have sketch entities here that are in the color of black and blue. When it's black, it's fully defined. And when it's blue, it's not yet fully constrained. And to determine what needs to be added, it's highly suggested that you move your sketch entity. So I'm going to select the center point and move this. What I am seeing is I'm going to create a horizontal line connecting these two center points and add a midpoint constraint on that with our origin. So I'm going to head up and select line. Create a line from this center point to this center point. And for us to apply the midpoint constraint with ease, I'm going to move our sketch entity somewhere around here. Let's now head up, grab our midpoint constraint, hovering over this horizontal line, selecting this and selecting our origin. Hitting escape. Our sketch is now fully defined. In addition, I prefer converting this line into a construction line. To do that, it's simply heading up and selecting construction or queue. Hitting escape. Let's turn this sketch into 3D, selecting the green check mark, heading over to our features toolbar and selecting extrude. And prompted to select faces or sketch, I'm going to select this sketch. Once more, make it a habit our origin to be at the center or middle. I'm going to change our direction to symmetric. For the thickness, it will be 15. Once more, operation to be new and selecting the green check mark. Inspecting and hitting Shift 7 for isometric view. And congratulations for creating our first part in the series of video tutorials. In the next lesson, we are going to create the cross link.